Hello there! Today we are reviewing a couple of air compressors. These are both portable 12-volt heavy-duty air compressors. We were contacted by the manufacturer of this one. This is made by Gobege. They're a company out of China. They liked our video channel and they asked if we would review this for them. So we said sure, and it seemed like a great way to do that review was to go ahead and compare it to this Viair. Now, we had bought this Viair earlier this year before our trip to Alaska. This is also made in China. This one came highly recommended from the off-road community, and we thought it looked like a good deal, so we purchased this and we threw it in the van for our trip. We've never used it, and we've never used this one. So we are going to go ahead and air up our tires today. We're going to put the two against one another on the rear tires of the van, and we'll see how that goes. Before we get into that, I want to show you what's included with each of these. So we'll start with the Gobege. It comes with a 26-foot air hose with an inline 0 to 250 psi pressure gauge. We'll talk about that some more in a minute. Also, this extension attaches to the end of the hose, and it has a quick release connect to snap onto your tire valve. In addition to those, we have three adapters. One is for sports balls, like a football or a basketball, that type of thing. And then there's a couple of different size air nozzles. These are for like a air mattress or floaty toys or things like that. So those are just give it a little bit more use than just filling up tires. It has an 8-foot power cord, and I'll show you that in a sec. Also the nice one compartment zipper case for it. This 8-foot power cord is nice because it allows you to set the unit on the ground in front of your vehicle and still be able to reach the battery with the connection clamps. It has a base on it for keeping sand and dirt out of the intake while it's operating on the ground. It has an on-off switch on the back. And it has a circuit breaker reset button. In case the thing overheats and the circuit breaker gets tripped, you just let the unit cool down a bit, push the reset, and you should be good to go. So that's the Gobege. Then we have the Viair. This is the 400p model. This is also made in China. And inside here, we again have the unit itself. It comes with a base to keep sand out of the unit. It comes with an 8-foot power cord again. This power cord has an inline fuse holder. So if you overheat the unit or something and you blow the fuse, you can just replace it right here in line with a 40 amp automotive fuse, just like that. I'm not sure which is better, the fuse or the circuit breaker, but that's what you got here. In addition to that, right here on the front of the unit, there's an air filter. And I'm not real crazy about the threading on this. The machining is making it really difficult to put this back on. But there's you have a white air filter and you have the black one. And they both fit in here. And like I said, this is not machined very well, so it's difficult to screw it back on. But it finally goes. This unit comes with 2 replacements of both the black and the white filter, so altogether you're getting 3 sets of filters with this unit. In the other compartment, we again have these adapters, the sports ball adapter and the 2 inflation nozzles. However, this one also comes with a Presta valve adapter. Presta valve is the type of valve you see on a lot of bicycles these days. It's the little narrow adapter. So this unit will fill up bicycle tires with Presta valves, whereas this one won't. The Viair has a 25-foot air hose. It's a coil hose, and it has a 0 to 100 psi pressure gauge. Also, near the end of the hose, it has a control deflate attachment. Push it and turn it this way to deflate, push it and turn it that way to inflate. and it has the quick connect attached as part of the hose, so it's not a separate piece. To attach the hose, you pull this collar back, push it on there. That's the same with this guy. Attach the hose, you pull this collar back, push it on there, and you're attached. I'm going to go ahead and put the specs up for both of these side by side for you to compare. These are what the manufacturer says. We have no way to verify this, so I'm just going to take them at their word. However, we can compare how long it takes to air a tire up from 40 psi to 70, so that is what we are going to do. We have a 170-inch wheelbase Sprinter camper van. The rear tires are set at 70 psi and the front tires are at 50. We're going to go ahead and do these on the rear tire. We're going to air those down and see how long it takes each one of these guys to get up to 70. So that's something we can test, and we're going to do that right now. The battery on a Sprinter is under the floor at the driver's seat, but we are not hooking up directly to the battery. One cool thing about a Sprinter is it has a connection here that you can use. Let me show you how that works. If you push this red thing in and twist just a little bit, you can push it back to expose a contact that you can connect your battery clamp to. Then take your negative clamp and just find something that's attached to ground. For example, this bolt right down here. And there you go. We've got positive and negative. And if I come down here, we're up and running. One nice thing about both of these units is they have a nice long hose so that the compressor can stay right here, and yet the hose is long enough to reach the back wheels. So I'll take this around to the back here, just like that. Okay, I've been working on airing the tire down. The Gobege, at the end, it has this little attachment, which is supposed to be something that you can turn and it'll automatically let the air out, but it really doesn't work. I contacted the manufacturer about it, and they said, yeah, the thing in the manual needs to be updated because they're aware of this. So I'm not sure why this thing is still here. In fact, later in the video, I might undo these screws and open this up because I don't think there's anything inside there. But basically, you can just screw this on here like this. And let air out that way. But that'll take you a while. So what I did is I used the one on the Viair. So the Viair has something that looks very similar. You clamp that on here. You clamp it on like that, and then you can push and turn this, and you can hear it's letting air out. Now, I mentioned that this one is a 0 to 100 psi gauge on the Viair. This one's a 0 to 250 psi gauge on the Gobege. The Viair is much easier to read. However, if you look at the Viair, you can see it says about 35 psi. Let's go ahead and look at the Gobege now. And you'll notice it says it's almost right at 40. It's harder to read because it's a much bigger spread from 0 to 250, but it looks like it's pretty much right on 40 psi. I also have a standard tire gauge, and so if I put that on here, it says 40. So even though it's got a much bigger spread from 0 to 250, this gauge seems to be more accurate than the one on the Viair. So we're down at 40 psi. The next thing we're going to do is start a timer and see how long it takes to hit 70. One thing too, I've got both of these set up. They're both connected to the battery. Real quick, I want to compare how loud these are against one another. According to the specs, this one's supposed to be much quieter, but let's see how the Gobege sounds. and compare that to the Viair. Not a whole lot of difference, really. But I'm going to hit start on the stopwatch, and we'll go keep an eye on the pressure gauge. So I stopped the air compressor at about 2 minutes, and we are right at 60 psi. That's both with the inline pressure gauge and with my handheld regular old tire pressure gauge. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it back on. It's 3 minutes and 45 seconds, and according to this guy, we are just barely above 70 psi. So now I'm going to try that with my regular pocket pressure gauge. And we're just above 70. So 3 minutes and 45 seconds with the Gobege to go from 40 to 70 psi. Okay, I've lowered the air pressure on this tire to 40 psi. So I'm going to hook up the Viair. Let's see, I think I'll do it this way so I can see that gauge better. And notice again the Viair, the gauge is reading lower than the other one. But we're going off of what this guy says. So now I'm going to go start the air compressor, and we will hit start on the air compressor and on the timer. We'll see how long this guy takes to hit 70 psi. Okay, this looks like it's getting close. We are at 2 minutes and 46 seconds. So let's check it again with my pocket pressure gauge. And yeah, look at that. We are getting closer to 70. But I'm going to let it go just a little bit more because I want to make sure we're at 70. 3 minutes and 4 seconds. And let me take this guy off of here. And that is right at 70 psi. Okay, 40 psi to 70 psi. The Gobege took 3 minutes and 45 seconds, give or take a few seconds. The Viair took 3 minutes and 4 seconds, so 40 seconds faster. I have to say I'm really pleasantly surprised. I really thought I was going to like this pump a lot better. There are a few things I do like better. I like that the pressure gauge is much easier to read. However, as you saw, it's not terribly accurate, at least not compared to this guy and not compared to this guy. So I trust this. I always recommend you have one of these anyway. So the gauge was easier to read, but not terribly accurate. I really did like this feature for airing down. That's a nice thing to have, and it's too bad this thing doesn't work. I still think I'm going to take that apart and look inside it. The other thing too, when I saw this hose, I thought I liked it better, but you didn't see this when I was unraveling it because I wasn't filming at the time. This thing got all tangled up in itself, and it took me a few minutes to unravel it. That was a mess. I didn't like that. This one is just straightforward. It just comes right apart like a water hose or any kind of hose. Very easy and straightforward, easy to use. This unit is heavier. This one's about, I think it said 16 pounds, and this one's about 9.5. So that's nice. Right now, at the time of this video, this one is going on Amazon for about $125. This one's going for about $227. So about $100 more for this. I really thought I was going to say something like, because we're using ours just for casual use and emergency use, I like this. But if I was an off-road guy who was airing down all the time and doing this frequently, that I would highly recommend this. But you know what? I like this one better. It's a little bit heavier, it's a little bit bulkier, but I can live with about almost a minute longer to air up based on saving $100. I'm really impressed with this. So, but it's up to you. I'm linking both of these in the description below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Share it with somebody who's looking for an air compressor. Maybe help them figure out which one they want to get. And we'll see you on the next video. Thanks so much. Bye. We're trying to wrap up this video, but I just wanted to say real quick, we are not being paid by either of these companies to review these products. However, like I said, we're putting links in the description below. If you click on those links and buy a product, we will get a small commission at no extra charge to you. Also, if you use this code, you can get this item and save an additional 10%. This code is also appearing in the description below. So that's it. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Yeah, just like I thought. There's nothing in there. But anyway, I still like this pump better than the other one. And you can just take that thing off of there.